Rick, welcome. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today. A lot of discussion here about partnerships. How do you see partnerships of all types, industry, government, allies and partners with the U.S. government, so on, influencing the future of the operations of things like people here are talking about?
Yeah, no, that's it's a good question, and it was a theme today with the SOCOM commander, General Fenton. He said something I thought was interesting. He talked about he was putting a different spin on saying, hey, you know, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together, go with other people. And in SOCOM, he's like, hey, we need to do both, just by the nature of what we're doing. Partnerships really enable speed, but only if you can connect your partners and be interoperable. And you can enable that in a lot of different ways. But for me, technology today and the way we're advancing and just the way that the world is today, you know, whether you're conducting just training with partner nations or conducting real operations, being able to communicate and push the right data to the right people immediately is really what's going to give us the upper hand and information superiority. So that's really where I see technology and innovation playing into partnerships as we move forward.
What enables that data distribution and what enables the security of that data distribution?
Yeah, well, good question. One way to do that, there's multiple ways, right? But thinking about the world today and what the DoD and SOCOM is focusing on, things like JADC2, Joint All-Domain Command and Control, connecting all of the data sources, the sensors, the data lakes, things analysts are working on. How do we connect all of that information and process it quickly, securely, get it to the right individual, whether that's the soldier on the field, wrapped in technology, as SOCOM commander said, or to a senior level decision maker, right? And I think part of that is having a data hub that is capable of ingesting all of those streams of data immediately, and then being able to index them, process them. And then some of the innovations you talked about, using things like AI, ML, to get that right information to the user on the ground, the decision maker. But also going a step further, right? It's about, you know, if we're talking partners, it's about access, right? And security. So user-based access controls, having the ability to implement element level security, you know, to documents, to different things that you're sharing. Very important. And I mean, we could deep dive on that and bore people to death, but there are a lot of innovations in that space that enables that to happen almost instantaneously and very securely.
You mentioned one example is a soldier wrapped in tech who's in the field. How would you like to see, or how would you propose to see the military services make those troops either data analysts or make them not need to be data analysts in order to use that data effectively?
Well, it depends on what that soldier in the field's doing, right? That soldier's first job is to be a soldier, right? So I want him to be concerned with his mission and not being concerned with, hey, I need to be a data analyst for 5 minutes to figure out if I have the right information, right? So what I want to see is the information that he needs, that's all he's getting, right? If he wants to, if he has time, he can, you know, deep dive on something later. But, you know, in the moment, he just needs the piece of information. He needs to make a decision and, you know, execute whatever it is that the objectives are.
What are the technological advances that you see as most important to achieve that end state?
Yeah, so there's a few things. One, there's been a lot of advances as far as graph databases are concerned, multimodal, the ability to ingest that information. That's the first thing. It's a big difference between where we were 5-10 years ago, where, you know, you'd have to hire consultants to, you know, reformat data, and that costs a lot of time, takes a lot of time. Now we have the ability with platforms like MarkLogic where we can just ingest it immediately, and that's the first piece. But the next thing is being able to understand that data, right? So some of the things that we're seeing is being able to draw semantic relationships between knowledge using the AI tools, and that can eliminate a lot of the noise that we used to have to spend a lot of time, you know, eliminating things like, you know, multiple names for the same piece of information, like social security number, something like that.
Rick, it's great to have you here. Thanks for your time today.
Great, thanks. Good to be here.